Hello all, today's topic is heat. These are some of the important points. Copper is the first metal used by the man. Bronze is an first man-made alloy. Alloy means combining of metal or non-metal. Two or more metals or non-metals is called as an alloy. And bronze is an alloy which is made from copper and tin. Similarly, brass is made from copper and zinc. When it comes to silver is the best thermal conductor in metals, whereas graphene is the best thermal and electrical conductor. These two are important points. Best thermal conductor in metals is silver. Graphene is best in both thermal and as well as electrical conductor also. Heat. What is heat? Heat is a form of energy which produced by the vibration of particles. Here, if the vibration of the particle increases, loss of energy also increases. When the energy is lost, the temperature of that particular body also increases. Then automatically heat increases. So, vibration of the particles and heat are directly proportional. If the vibration of the particles are frequently increased, then heat also increases. According to thermodynamics, heat always travels from high temperature to low temperature. Heat always travels from high temperature to low temperature. Measure of heat is calorimeter. The subject that relates to heat is calorimetry. Units are calories or joules. Joules is the SI unit of heat, whereas calorie is the CGS unit. 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 joules. 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 joules. Black and white are not considered as the colors. Why they are not considered as the colors? Because they does not have any wavelength. Color black and white are not considered as the colors because they does not have wavelength. Next, transmission of heat. Generally, transmission of heat is of three types: conduction, convection, radiation. We will see this in a simple manner. Conduction. What is meant by conduction? Conduction means transfer of heat through materials by direct contact. Just remember, if the contact between the two bodies and the transfer of heat is very direct, then it is called as conduction. Conduction is a slow method. Example for that is solids. Transfer of heat through materials by direct contact. It is a slow method, and the examples are, this generally happens in case of solids. So example will be solids. When it comes to convection, in convection, heat energy is transferred from one system to another system due to the movement of particles through large distance. Here there is a direct contact between two substances, but here between two systems there is a large distance gap. And in convection, as conduction is a slow process but convection is a fast process, this generally happens in case of liquids and gases. Conduction happens in case of solids, whereas convection happens in case of liquids and gases. Example for this are El Nino winds, La Nina winds. El Nino winds means the winds which travel from South America to Australia, and La Nina means the winds which travels Australia to South America. And one more example is hot air balloons. In hot air balloons we generally use hydrogen. Okay. Next is radiation. We saw conduction, convection and radiation. When it comes to radiation does not need any medium to transfer. Heat transferred without any medium. If the heat is transferred without any medium, then it is called as radiation. Example for the radiation is electromagnetic waves. These are the fastest among all three. Conduction is the slow process and it is between the direct contact of two materials. And when it comes to convection, the distance between the two materials or the distance between the two systems will be more, and it is fast method. When it comes to radiation, it does not need any medium to transfer the heat and it is the fastest. Example for this is electromagnetic waves. Global warming can happen by conduction, convection or radiation, but most of the time, very frequently, it happens only through radiation in a very high manner. Radiation is a shorter infrared waves. Radiation is a shorter infrared waves. Almost 51% of the radiation from the sun reaches the earth, which is called as insolation. Insolation means the radiation of 51% from the sun reaches to the earth, which is called as insolation. Order of heat loss. Heat loss order among conduction, convection and radiation is, there will be more heat loss in case of radiation. Less when compared to radiation, it is convection. Very less is conduction. Order of heat transmission. Order of heat transmission is faster in radiation, then when compared to radiation in convection it is less, and it is in very less in conduction. Same as order of heat loss and order of heat transmission are same, whereas it has more in radiation, less in convection and very less in conduction. Okay, clear night are colder than the cloudy night because of radiation. Clear nights are colder than the cloudy nights because of radiation. Shape of the body is responsible for loss or gain of heat. If surface area is high, then loss or gain of the heat is also high. If surface area is less, then loss or gain of the heat is also less. Yes, we know this. If the surface area, if there is more surface area, there will be more evaporation, means more heat loss. If the surface area is small, then there will be less evaporation, means less heat loss, or same in case of heat gain also. Circular body loss heat easily. These are the types of materials which are thermal conductor and thermal insulator. Thermal conductors means which allow heat to pass through them. Thermal insulators means which does not allow heat to pass through them. These are the substances which does not allow heat to pass through them. They are called as thermal insulators. Whereas thermal conductors are the materials which allow heat to pass through them. Thermal conductors examples: metals, alloy crystals, graphene, diamond, silver. Among all, which is the best thermal conductor? Graphene. We already saw here that graphene is the best thermal conductor, thermal and electrical conductor. Okay, and when it comes to second place, it is diamond. Graphene and diamonds are good thermal conductors. When it comes to thermal insulators, wood, thermocol, plastic, rubber, melamine, all these comes under thermal insulators. Specific heat. Specific heat can be defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of a substance. Unit mass, which means 1 kg or 1 gram, by a temperature of 1 degree centigrade. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree centigrade is defined as the specific heat. Water has highest specific heat. Cooking pot, low specific heat but high conductivity. Latent heat of vaporization. Temperature is constant while the liquid changes to gas. Latent heat of vaporization. Similarly, latent heat of fusion means temperature is constant while the solid changes to liquid. Vaporization itself is the liquid changes to gas. Fusion means fusion happens while solid changes to liquid. Temperature. If temperature increases, kinetic energy increases. If temperature decreases, kinetic energy decreases. First thermometer is Galileo's thermometer. In Galileo thermometer he used air, not mercury. Units of temperature: degree centigrade, kelvins, Fahrenheit. This relation is very important. Relation between degree centigrade, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Degree centigrade minus 0 by 100 is equal to Fahrenheit minus 32 by 180 is equal to K minus 273 by 100. These are the relationship between degree centigrade, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. In exams, we frequently see that the relation between Kelvin and degree centigrade. K is equal to C plus 273. This you have to remember, very important. Here it is. K is equal to C plus 273. At what temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit equal? The degree centigrade and Fahrenheit are equal at minus 40 degrees. At minus 40 degrees, both the Celsius temperature and the Fahrenheit temperature are equal. What are the working principles? Thermometer is based on the principle that a liquid expands on heating and contracts on cooling. We know that generally liquid expands on heating and contracts on cooling. By this principle, thermometer is worked. These liquid thermometers are based on the principle of thermal expansion. What is meant by thermal expansion? Liquids expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Types of thermometers. There are 3 types of thermometers: solid thermometers, liquid thermometers, and gaseous thermometers. Difference between liquid and gaseous thermometers. Gaseous thermometers is based in expansion and contraction. It has high expansion and contraction. H2 is thermometer, helium meter. Important thermometers. 6 maximum and minimum thermometer. It is invented by James VI in 1780. It will be there in U shape. It is made of mercury and alcohol. Mercury has very high boiling point, whereas alcohol has very low freezing point. Clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer is the thermometer which we use. The normal temperature of a human body should be 98.4 degree Fahrenheit. When it comes to degree Celsius, it is 36.9 degree Celsius. It can be made either with mercury or alcohol. Thermoelectric thermometer. It can measure low temperature also up to 0.025 degree centigrade. Magnetothermometer. It measures the absolute temperature. Beckmann differential thermometer. Beckmann differential thermometer is invented by Otto Beckmann. He is a German chemist. It is used to measure the small differences of temperature but not absolute temperature values. Absolute temperature values can be measured by the magnetothermometer. Using Beckmann differential thermometer, we cannot measure the absolute temperature values, but we can measure the small differences of temperature. Use it to record the temperature of vaporization of water in the laboratory. Next is digital thermometer. Digital thermometer is a infrared radiation type of thermometer. Its working principle is radiation. Next, pyrometer. Pyrometer is used to measure the radiation in cement, glass, metallurgy industries. It can measure the value up to 3000 degrees centigrade. Can be measured very high temperatures. Sun's chromosphere's temperature is 6000 degrees centigrade, but pyrometer can measure up to 3000 degrees centigrade. Range of platinum resistance thermometer 200 to 1000 degrees centigrade. Range of mercury thermometer 30 degrees to 350 degrees centigrade. Thermocouple thermometer range is 200 to 1600 degrees centigrade. Hydrogen content thermometer range is 200 degrees to 500 degrees centigrade. What is the effect of temperature on materials? What are the different types of materials? Solids, liquids, gases. Expansion of solids. In linear expansion, it takes place in only one axis, which is alpha. In aerial expansion, it takes place in two axes, which is alpha and beta. When it comes to volume expansion, it takes in three axes, which is alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, these are the some of the questions. Why power transmission cables and lines are loose on electric poles and transmission towers? Because they allow the contraction of wires in winter, otherwise the wires may broken. In case of railway line also, they create a small gap to fill because of the rails expands in summer. Okay. Why steel bar is used in concrete? Because both concrete and steel have same expansion and contraction. Why electric bulbs can be sealed with platinum? Because glass and platinum have same expansion and contraction. Both pendulum clock and tuning fork does not exhibit any expansion and contraction. Expansion of liquids, enormous expansion of liquids. At 0 degrees, it is in the form of ice. When the contraction takes place, the density increases, volume decreases. At 4 degrees centigrade, expansion takes place. At 0 to 4 degrees, contraction takes place, whereas from 4 degrees to 10 degrees, expansion takes place. During the time of expansion, density decreases, volume increases, whereas during the time of contraction, density increases, volume decreases. Dilatometer is the equipment or an instrument which is used to measure the enormous expansion of the water. What happens when the water is heated from 0 degrees to 10 degrees? Its volume. They are asking about volume. See, from 0 degrees to 10 degrees, they are asking about the volume. At first, from 0 degrees to 10 degrees, the volume decreases. Later, it increases. First decreases, then increases. Expansion of gases. We came across expansion of solids, and this is expansion of liquids, and now expansion of gases. Expansion of gases will be more when compared to liquid and solid. If temperature increases, gases expansion also increases. White and smooth surface is a bad absorber of heat and good reflector of heat. Okay. So this is the simple overview of the chapter heat. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.